Good morning, students. Today I will see about anatomy, introduction to anatomy, nerve structures. What are the nerve structures is present in the human body? How to the functioning of the human body? Okay, that's all that tells about this class. First, the introduction. Overview of the nervous system. Okay, the nervous system has two major anatomical subdivisions. Okay, one is the central nervous system, another is the peripheral nervous system. Okay, the central nervous system contains the brain. It's a peripheral to brain's control to the body. That is the central nervous system. The peripheral nervous system to the control to the entire extremities level of the body. That is the two nervous system. Then classification, the subdivision of the nervous system. Okay, first one is the central nervous system. It's again spread into brain and spinal cord. It's interconnection between the brain and spinal cord. Then peripheral nervous system. It is the sensory division and motor division. Okay, the sensory division again divided into two: visceral sensory division and somatic sensory division. Then motor division is again divided into visceral motor division and somatic motor division. Okay, then the visceral means the any other organs, the organ functioning at this nervous system act the body. In the sensory means the input pathway is responsible for the entire body. That is a somatic. Okay. Then you will go for again the visceral motor division. That do divide two types. One is the sympathetic division and parasympathetic division. Okay. These are about the classification of the nervous system. Then cells. The cells of the nervous system, there are mainly for two types of cell nervous system. One is the neuron, one is the neuroglia. Okay, the neuron is the functional unit of nervous system. Okay, that is the nerve cell and the nerve cell. The neuroglia are the glia supportive cells of the nervous system. That is the aid of the nervous system. Okay, then neurons got three fundamental physiological properties. Okay, three fundamental neurological properties. What are these properties? First one is the excitability. Excitability means is that impulses excite through the process. That is excitability. Then second one is the conductivity. What is the conductivity? Conduction of the impulses. This excitation, impulses pass through the conduction, one neuron to another neuron. There is a conduction. Third, secretion. What is a secretion? It is produced by the any neurotransmitter. This neurotransmitter is mainly activated for this mechanism. Okay, there is a excitability, conductivity, and secretion. Three processes. Then atypical neuron is divided into three parts. Atypical, this is a typical neuron. The atypical neuron is divided into three parts. One is a soma or cell body. Okay, so then dendrites and axon. Okay, these are the atypical neuron, three types. Then structure. Okay, what are the structures of the present body? In this neuron structure, first is a cell. Cell is mainly present in the cytoplasm. That is a mitochondria. These are the cells are nucleus of the body, center of the body. These cells are arranged to the either side of the body. External feature present in the branches, some small branches. That is called as dendrites. Okay. Then the cell body and dendrites also connect with the conduction of the myelin sheath. Okay, the myelin sheath is a myelin sheath covering is a myelinated fiber. The myelin sheath uncovering is a unmyelinated fiber. The myelin sheath important factor is the conduction is the faster through the other neuron. In unmyelinated fibers, the conduction is the absence of the conduction is the fiber. Okay, what is synapse? This one neuron to another neuron pass to the information, that is a neuron synapse. Okay, this synapse will activate the person. This mainly for neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction three phase. That is the presynaptic, synaptic cleft, and postsynaptic. Okay, the presynaptic cleft is the opening of the calcium channel centered to the vesicles to the body and the body presynaptic cleft vesicles. Then you are stimulated to the, you will go through the synaptic cleft region. This synaptic cleft region is mainly for release the neurotransmitter. What are the neurotransmitters? That is a neurotransmitter is the acetylcholine receptors. These acetylcholine receptors will enter to the postsynaptic membrane. Okay, this postsynaptic membrane is opening of the sodium channel. This sodium channel opening of the sodium channel enters the synaptic vesicles. It will go through the motor end plate. The motor end plate. This motor end plate is the axon terminal. This plate is a neuron to the another neuron. There is a neuromuscular junction is processed to the one neuron to another to jump to the other neuron. This process is normal the structure of the neurons. Then classification of the neuron mainly for according to structure or function. The function based classification is the sensory neuron, that is afferent neuron, interneuron is the associated neuron, motor neuron. Okay. Structure based classification mainly for unipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, multipolar neuron, and anaxogenic neuron. These class tell about what is the neuron, what is the types of neuron, what is the classification neuron, what is the difference between functional classification and structural classification. Okay, these are class about tells about this structure. Next class you will find out the remaining structures are passed to go through the next class. Okay, any doubt? Thank you. Good morning, student. And today we will continue for the classification, functional classification of the neuron. Okay. In this diagrammatic representation, you will see that peripheral nervous system, central nervous system. Okay. Central nervous system, the brain structure. Brain are the is the present of the lobes, four lobes: frontal lobe, occipital lobe, parietal lobe, then vestibular. Okay. These are the structures of present in the lobes. Okay. These lobes are mainly for many. The lines are present in the brain. That is the sulcus and gyrus. Till the mainly in the interconnection of the other neuron transmission. Okay, the central nervous system. Then this is on the left side is the peripheral nervous system. This where is located the peripheral nervous system? Mainly for the distal to proximal. This is the sensory extremity region. Extremity are present in the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system, two type of the nervous system. One is the sensory or afferent, motor or afferent. Okay, the sensory neurons are transmitted impulses through the to moving through the skin to muscle receptor Golgi in an organ, then will transmit to the spinal cord to which is the afferent nervous system, then the thalamus, brainstem, then will go for brain, that is the afferent nervous system. Then in the afferent nervous system, you will convert it to the brain structure, central nervous system, mainly for it's a motor pathway, the descending tract, that is a activate the descending tract. The descending tract was activated, then brainstem, thalamus, then spinal cord, then skin and muscle Golgi an organ to response of the stimulus. Okay, these are the process of the classification. The interneuron are association between the both of the afferent and efferent neurons. Then the structural classification. What is structural classification? First one is the neuron is a multipolar neuron. The cell body present in the multiple level of the segment, that is a multipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron, cell body is present the two level of the nerve structure, that is a bipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron, the cell body present the only one side of the nerve structure, that is a unipolar neuron. Axonic neuron is the axon structure will pass through the many filamentous branches, that is a axonic neurons. Okay, these are the structural classification of the neurons. Then types of neuralgia. The neuralgia is neural cells. Okay, that is mainly for capillaries. Capillary means blood flow present. That is nerve structure. Astrocytes. Then astrocytes. Capillary is the next layer. Astrocytes. Then perivascular feet. Then ependymal cell. Then CSF fluid. Then neurons. Then oligodendrocytes, myelin axons, myelins. These are the neuroglial cells of types of neuroglial cells. Then neuromuscular junction. What is a neuromuscular junction? The junction between the two pre and postsynaptic. That is a neuromuscular junction. That is this process. The neuron structure will pass through the conduction of fiber. What is the result? You will go through the neuromuscular junction to you will go for axon terminal. Okay, axon terminal to motor end plate, then you will transmit another neuron. Okay, that is the process. Okay, first one is the presynaptic. This is the presynaptic and the synaptic cleft, the passage of the gap between the two pre and postsynaptic. That is a synaptic cleft. Then next process the postsynaptic neurons. Okay, then you will go for postsynaptic neuron. Then the presynaptic layer is opening of the calcium channel, then enters the synaptic vesicles through the before the stage of the cleft. This cleft enters the cleft, will releasing of the neurotransmitter, that is a acetylcholine receptor. This acetylcholine receptor will go through the postsynaptic membrane to the opening of the sodium channel. Then is a synaptic vesicles are opening to the postsynaptic membrane. Then it will go to the end of the will go through the axon terminal. Then axon terminal to motor end plate of the response is a response of the muscle action. Okay, this is the one pathway. This is how the one neuron to another neuron. This pathway is a continuation of the junction. Okay. Then you will go for central nervous system. Okay, the central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. This CNS is protected by the cranium. CNS is protected by the cranium surrounding the brain. Okay, vertebral column is surrounded by the spinal cord. Then the CNS is the bathed in the cerebrospinal fluid. The CNS is composed of gray and white matter. Then the division of the brain is the forebrain, cerebral cortex. Okay, cerebral cortex. The forebrain is the cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. Okay. Then below the structure, pituitary gland. Then next structure, midbrain. Okay. Next structure, hindbrain. Hindbrain means pons. Pons skill or descending of the pons, medulla oblongata. Then either side of the medulla oblongata, cerebellum. Then extends to the below the structure, spinal cord. Okay. Then midbrain. The forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Forebrain is telencephalon, diencephalon. Midbrain is the mesencephalon. Hindbrain is the metencephalon or myelocephalon. Okay. These are structures of the next layer of the underlying structure. Next class will go through the other structure of the class. Okay. Tomorrow we will see about all of the later about the go through this topic of this topic. Small test about this topic. Thank you.